Hello, everyone. Welcome to Talkin Kop. It's full time here. It's finished. Arsenal 0, Liverpool 2. Arsenal had all the chances. Arsenal had all the hype. Arsenal had Alan Shearer cheering for them. And what happened? Arsenal do what Arsenal do. Can't score unless it's in their own goal. Leave it to Liverpool. We'll go into the next round of the FA Cup. I'm here with Kev. Kev's boss, isn't it?
Look, it's a nice, easy, leisurely Sunday afternoon show with a nice, handy away 2-0 cup win. No drama.
No drama.
Christ almighty, what a game. It was a cracking game of football, to be fair. Definitely when you want to come out and top it. But my God.
Yeah, I mean,
it was a game of two halves. It was a proper game of two halves.
Definitely. I mean, it was a hard, but they're sort of wins you endure, as in like, fucking hell, this is hard work. But I think it also showed the benefits of. There's still some weaknesses in both sides, and we'll talk about them. But I think the big shift, which is why I'm still more confident of Liverpool having a title challenge than Arsenal, is even when Liverpool are getting dominated, when Liverpool aren't playing to their level, and we've got numerous players missing, they always keep themselves in the game and give themselves an opportunity for the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and we know we've got enough firepower still, even without Mo Salah, to win games. That's what Arsenal did. You know, it's basically you should have killed Liverpool off first half, and I think deep down they knew we haven't killed this game off. And all the hype before the game was all the injuries Arsenal have got. It's really difficult for Arsenal. They've lost Jesus. It's really difficult. Liverpool had 8 players out, and looking at our bench, we had one lad over 22, which is Diogo Jota. Then we grabbed Gravenberch, who was 21, and then it literally is the academy and Keller. You know, so we're obviously about. But what I'm like about Liverpool at the moment is, although us and the press were talking about Liverpool got injuries, the manager's still doing what he's been doing all season, which is no excuse FC. You got players injured, that's fine. We'll win what we've got. We're going to go with what we've got. I've got a plan for what we're going to do. No excuses. We're going to go for this. That's what you want.
Yeah, it was. Look, I'll be honest. I saw the lineup and I saw the bench, and I was thinking, okay, there's 2 people that can come off the bench to change the game if we need them to. And the lineup when it came out is, look, you had Alisson and goal. I made no secret about the fact I think Kelleher should be playing these cup games, but by the by.
No, well,
Alisson and goal. Trent, Konate, Kwanzaa, Gomez. Happy enough for that. No problem. McAllister back from a month out. Harvey Elliott, Jones, Gakpo, Nunes, Diaz. Now, the way it played out, Gakpo dropped into midfield. Harvey started the first half wide right. Darwin through the middle. Luis Diaz on wide left. And I was like, okay, fair enough. That's fine. We can go with that. And, I mean, game kicked off, man. And 3 minutes in, and Arsenal had, what's the name? Ramsdale, a really excellent long pass. It wasn't a hoof ball or anything like that. It was a proper long pass into Reece Williams, into what's his name? Nelson. And Elson shit his pants because it was Alisson. Alisson stood up and made the decision so much more difficult by not panicking.
But Alisson was clever and says that he made himself big, but he doesn't throw his leg out. And you can see, because we've seen enough keepers, we had plenty of them. Mignolet was brilliant for this. They do that bit, you got brilliant. Then they stick the leg out to make himself even bigger, and they go, oh, thanks very much. There we go, penalty.
Yeah.
And then Konate gets back and gets himself. Yeah, it's such an angle that you think, well, he's not going to score from there. But you were thinking, like, right, okay, Jesus Christ. I think last time we went to the Emirates last year, we were behind after a minute. So, we'd be a bit more wide awake, but.
And it was more of the same for the rest of the first half. It was non-stop. Arsenal's press was brilliant. We couldn't play out. There was no out ball in midfield. There was no out ball up front. Everything came short, and Arsenal pressed the living daylights out of us for an entire half. And it was pure terrible finishing on behalf, mainly from Kai Havertz. But Odegaard as well. Throughout the first half, you can go through them if you want, but at the end of the day, it was an onslaught. It was an absolute onslaught of pure pressure.
The one that hit the bar,
virtually the entire the first half.
The one that hit the bar was probably one of the biggest chances. Because I was waiting for the net to ripple. It just looked like one of those chances thinking, we've seen enough games with Yumi where Yumi and Messi going, here's the goal. It just, everything looked right about it from an Arsenal perspective. And you're like,
it felt like it was coming. With the way that they were playing, with the pressure that we were under, and every time we got out, we couldn't keep it up their end or sustain attacks anywhere near long enough to put them under any pressure. In the entire first half, I think we had 2 efforts in the first half. One of them was right at the very end that rattled the crossbar.
But, and it was a Darwin header, which he probably should get on target. But I mean, Havertz, again, the experiment of Havertz up front didn't really work. Nelson, who came in, I thought did quite well. He at least gave an output. He's using his pace. Saka, I'll be honest, this is the Saka we've seen for the last few weeks.
I thought Joe Gomez was exceptional in the first half.
I thought Joe Gomez pocketed him. And I'll be honest, Saka for me now gets to that point where I'm going like, a little bit believes that. I actually think he needs to be taken outside. I think he's knacked. I just think he's knackered. And always, I see that Darwin slander's already in the chat. We'll come to Darwin. I just thought Darwin was all right today. I think, unfortunately, with Darwin now, he's become that Marmite forward that if he's not scoring, everyone says he's shit. And I actually thought Darwin was all right, especially second half. First off, I don't think anything. I thought first off, nothing stuck with any of the front three. Elliott was anonymous. Gakpo and centre mid, he didn't really give us any impetus going forward. He didn't do the Bobby dropping routine. And defensively, I think he left us too open. I think that's why I think McAllister struggled a lot, because when we play Endo, we're a bit more compact and then we break out at pace. Whereas we seem to give McAllister ball and roll to be out at pace, and you're going like, you need to give him something to get. And also, this is McAllister's first start in 6 weeks? It's a while since we've seen him. So, he's also got to find his feet again as well. So it's a hard first game to get yourself dropped into away at the Emirates.
It wasn't so much that Arsenal outnumbered us in midfield 4-3 almost all through that first half. If it wasn't Rice, it was Jorginho, and someone from the forwards, usually Odegaard, was tucking inside, and Havertz was dropping back in to make it a 4v3 all the time. And it was a nightmare to try to play through. And everything changed in the second half with the tactics and the setup, and there were simple fixes, but I think you needed to have to be able to make the changes. We'll come on to them in a sec. But I mean, what do you think? What did you think? Because I'm just going to stick with Joe Gomez for a sec, because for me, Saka is their main outlet, is their main threat. And
I think the only mistake Joe Gomez made in the whole first half was he does underhit one of the passes, which creates the crossbar hit. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, I thought he kept Saka within arm's length and kept him pretty good. He didn't do anything attacking wise, Joe Gomez, but it wasn't that type of game for him. It was a game for make sure you cover the youngster, Kwanzaa, who again had a very good game. Yeah. The one thing I did notice with Arsenal, and maybe this is the thing Liverpool will develop, I remember Kwanzaa's only a kid, is they were quite happy for Kwanzaa to have the ball, Konate to a point, and then they pressed everything else. That seemed to be their tactic, which was hit anything that they passed to, but they were really limited options where they were having to bang it long into no man's land. It was defensively. I thought, they were getting blocks in. Even McAllister, who, I think it was a tough first half for him. I thought he was getting these blocks in the box that we needed them to do. I just think on the ball, as a team, first half, I thought we were pretty abject. Nothing was sticking. Nobody was trying to, Jones, it wasn't, his runs weren't coming off. I forgot Gakpo was on the pitch. I forgot Elliott was on the pitch.
They were. Look, credit where it's due.
Arsenal
played really well in the first half. Couldn't finish their dinner. They created so many chances, but the chances they were creating were off our mistakes, and we kept making the same mistakes all the time. And I think we weren't helped with being outnumbered in midfield. We weren't helped by how good Saliba and Gabriel were when Darwin was isolated. There was a couple of times that Trent whipped balls in over the top where he was able to get the run, but Gabriel matched him for pace both times. But other than that,
the one thing Darwin was doing quite well though was he was at least keeping two centre backs honest in terms of he wasn't doing which to be honest, last year this year he was definitely doing this, which was he just smash into them, give the free kick away. You're like, oh great, thanks. He was at least like it's just shadowing them making him kick it out for a corner, making him kick it out for a throw in, or even just kicking it off him. But it was just a couple of minutes of delay, so we can regroup and get back. I mean, listen, Liverpool's best two chances was a cross, which was a header from Darwin, which I think he should get. It's a hard one, but I think he should get it on target. I'm not sure. I don't think he needs to keep it from there. And the Trent one where he smashed it on the crossbar. But outside of that, they're two chances. I think looking at the stats I sent them you at half time, according to Opta, Arsenal had 2 big chances. We had 0. They had an XG of 1.3. We had an XG of like 0.2 or something like that. So it felt like it should have been at least 1 or 2-0 at half time. That would have been fair. Not the 5 that Alan Shearer believes, who has just got to be in the bonnet with Liverpool. And it was like having the Geordie Gary Neville commentating today.
It kind of was. I mean, they had 5 shots on target in the first half, Arsenal. They had 13 shots in total. And, they really, the Nelson one should have done better with. And that settles everything down for them. And the Odegaard one, for sure. That one, he had time. And that was on his strong foot. And he has to do better with that. But in general...
I'm with Kieran here. Was loving 0-0 at half time. I was a bit like that. I'm not quite sure we've managed it, but we've got to 0 at half time. But we've done that a few times, where we've got to 0-0s at half time, only 1-0 down. You've gone. It can't be. It can't. People can't keep saying it's luck. There must be a reason for it, and I think Liverpool are just making sure, they can keep themselves in the game.
Yeah, I mean, Alisson is massive for us. He just is. Konate, I thought. He got man of the match from BBC, and I wouldn't really argue with it too much. He was very good, especially more so in the second half. He was much braver on the ball, but you could tell the difference when Virgil's in the side, not defensively, but to have someone on the ball who doesn't give it away, but gets it out onto his right foot and swings a 40, 50-yard diagonal ball that puts you in over the top of their right back. And it would have put Kivior under pressure in the first half, and he was under absolutely none. And he's garbage. He's just not a player. Not for me anyway. And Ben White was allowed too much freedom to be able to trundle forward whenever he wanted.
Ben White was also allowed to WWE forearm smash someone, and the referee went sound. I mean,
I'll come to the referee in a sec. How nervous were you when Kwanzaa rolled his ankle?
Very. Extremely. Because I was going ahead. Well, the options are you put Gomez centre back, and you put Chambers left back, or you put Bradley right back, switch Trent over. But you're doing them massively, but everyone you're doing going, none of these are ideal because it just naturally makes us weaker because it's putting a kid on.
Yeah. So
the fact he then got up and nodded his head and went, I'm fine, and a bit like I'll gut this through, was like, woo, thank God for that. We have centre back on the bench.
I was really nervous, mainly because we know we got a cup semi-final coming up on Wednesday night, but it was, above all things that you don't want to happen at the minute, is another defender to go. And
I mean, luckily with Virgil, it sounds like it's only an illness. So
it's a virus.
I think they're pretty confident he'll be back for the semi-final, which means we can rest one of Konate or Kwanzaa. Probably Konate, because we don't normally make him do a game every 3 days. But Claire Dean here, good to see Claire in the chat. I've seen Claire in the chat for ages. Gomez was superb today. He's also playing at left back to not his best position. Kwanzaa for his age was super, and Konate massive. Even Darwin at centre back late on, just brilliant. Yeah, Darwin actually said defensively, especially late on in the second half, was excellent, absolutely excellent. So listen, half time 0-0. I went to go get a Valium to go and calm down because I was like singing Jesus Christ, I need someone to calm me down for this game. I was thinking, I mean, peek behind the curtain. I'd say Kev, and Kev knows this, a very jokey, which I do all the time. I will win 4-0, down and get a hat trick. And I'd always put them out, just let me dream. Because that's my way of saying to Kev, I know this is going to be an absolute horrible, hard game for us to watch. Because that's just how we are, aren't we? So know it is.
I said it to you at half time that he needs to figure out a way of getting the numbers and the balance in midfield right. Arsenal bossed the midfield. That's how they dominated the game in the first half. We had to figure out a way of getting that control back and the ability to push Ben White back and to isolate Saka. So Saka couldn't be an influence in the second half. He didn't get much change out of Joe Gomez, but an awful lot of the work that Arsenal were doing was lynched around him and Odegaard pulling players around. It's one thing they were brilliant at in the first half. And look, they pulled us around that pitch like ragdolls with a kid. You know, we were out of shape. We were stretched. We were chasing shadows at times.
They did that to us last year. Difference was we kept ourselves in it. Whereas last year we'd go 3-0 down. You'd be like, oh, fuck that, game over this. Yeah. You know, Liverpool still. Why you don't want to go through games like that, but you have to accept also to be a bit humble that going to Arsenal away, it is going to be a battle, a fight, just like City away was. We had to do the same for City away, which is, you know, take your medicine, grind it out, but take your chances. But I said, you and me were talking at half time. I said, yeah, we need to get a bit more control. But it just had that inkling of, I've seen this game too many times before with this new Klopp team, and to this with the old Klopp team, which is when they should be beaten, they find a way to make oppositions pay. Very Fergie Man United. How many times in the 90s did Fergie's Man United have games like that where you're going, how are these not getting beaten, and then they win 2-0 and you go, oh, I hate this game. Because but that's what you're like, I hate this game.
Yeah.
But we're becoming that, which I'm all right with, to be honest. Like,
I love it. I absolutely love smash and grab 1-0s, 2-0s. Absolutely love them. But at the end of the day, the changes came at halftime weren't substitutes. They were tactical tweaks. Dropped Harvey into... Before we go to second half, let's just talk about our two fundraising partners that we're going to go with. So we've got Lighthouse, isn't it? Which is based Lighthouse in Dublin.
Yeah. So this is to help homeless people in Dublin, you know, get some food, just generally look after people. And then support food banks in Liverpool, which is something I see when I go, like the women's games, they're always there. And when I'm lucky to go to a men's game, you know, I was going to say, look, the aim is we want to get to €10,000 and we're going to split it $5,000 to each of them. So all we say to people is details in the description below. If you can give, please click on the GoFundMe page and give. If you can't, share it around your WhatsApp groups, tweet it, Instagram it, you know, whatever it is. I'm sure there are other social media outlets that I can't think of. Yeah. Thread, that's a new one, isn't it? Kev, you go into Threads now. Put it on Threads. Just, you know, times are hard, and, you know, and this day and age, people shouldn't be going hungry. So
no.
If we could do a little bit to help that, let's go with that. And as Kev always says, and he's perfectly right, it's the 5s and the 10s to get you there.
When you see 5s and 10s and the odd 20 quid going in, you see the number ticking up. The Lighthouse in Dublin is a cafe that it literally is what it says in the tin. It feeds people and it helps people. And what they want to do is just stay open longer, you know. And to stay open longer, they need to be able to pay for utilities, food, staff, and if we can contribute to that in any way, then that's what we're going to try and do. But the link is in the description. If people could donate, it would be fantastic. Really, really would appreciate it. If you can't, and we understand times are hard, please copy and paste it onto your social medias and just share it about. That costs absolutely nothing but 30 seconds of your time, and it will go a long way because you never know who you're going to reach. And with that, Arsenal for life in the house. How you doing, buddy?
To be fair, credit to Arsenal for life. Win, lose, or draw, always comes to track. Even if Arsenal get beat, he will come in and front up to it. Yeah. To be fair to him, and to be fair, even when they win, he's not an arse about it. To be fair, he's good fun actually.
He's a good lad.
David Mathis has gifted a membership. So cheers, David. So if you on your setup on YouTube are able to accept gifts, click on that. First one to get it, you'll get a 1 month free membership for us. And we're trying to do plenty of shows, aren't we? Keith did a great show last Friday with Dave Downey of the Blue Room, talk about ownership. It's called The Helm, and so he's talking about the Everton ownership. I'm about halfway through it. It's really good. And before that, he also had I think he's from Late Challenge about Liverpool's ownership. His name's gone off my head. He'll come back to me in a minute. He's been the Anfield rap. It's really good as well.
I can't remember.
He'll come back to me in a minute. Gareth Roberts. Well, there it is. Gareth Roberts.
That's it.
So anyway, second half, the team stayed the same, But as you said, Kevin, he made a tactical tweak in the lineup, which, I think gave us a bit more control, to be fair.
It did. And it literally put square pegs back into square holes. Harvey looked much more at home in the middle of the park.
Definitely.
And it gave the option with Darwin going out onto the left wing. Diaz came out onto the right. So I said, as soon as we kicked off, I noticed it straight away. I text you straight away. I said, Diaz is out on the right. And with Darwin going onto the left, that out ball became evident straight away. The fact that he was able to pin Ben White back, it forced Arsenal into something there was no way that Arteta was expecting that tactical.
And Arsenal's left back does not like pace. No. He's clearly sent about playing full back.
Yeah.
Which isn't for everyone, we can tell. But the first time Diaz ran at him, you were like, Jesus Christ, he's not liking that, which is good.
Yeah.
Elliott and Jones, it just got us a bit tighter, and we got a bit more around it from McAllister, which helped.
We got a bit braver on the ball, and we came to receive the ball from Tafi, and we played out much quicker. It was night and day, the difference in the first half and the second half in how we played out. But it didn't take Alisson long to
busy again.
No, it was not so much that. He literally, when he got his goal kicks, he went direct. He didn't play out from the back. He literally went direct, straight to Darwin, straight up to Gakpo, and won the ball higher up the pitch from there. It was just proper old school football. It was like, if you're having the life pressed out of you by a really good pressing side away from home, put the ball down, hoof it 60 yards, and win it up there. It's not rocket science. It's Sunday League stuff, and it works. And it worked for us. And it needed to happen. But this is the kind of thing that it needed to come at halftime from Klopp. There's no point in Klopp shouting over to Alisson and 20 minutes gone, start hoofing it long. It wasn't good. You needed to organise around it because it's not something that we do naturally.
No.
And the tactical changes that came were brilliant.
Ross makes play. Arsenal can't handle pressure at the highest level like today. Arsenal thinks he's Pep's team, hence he keeps failing. We'll come into that. We'll have a bit of a chat about Arsenal because obviously my theory on Arsenal.
Yeah.
So we'll have a chat about that later. But just before 59 minutes, then we bring on Gravenberch and Jota, which you kind of thought, well, they're supposed to have to come on. Gakpo goes off. It just wasn't his day. When we played centre mid, or we played as number 9. It just wasn't his day today. Do you know what? It happens. So, Jota coming through the middle made perfect sense. And then Gravenberch came on from McAllister. Again, an hour on McAllister's legs. The McAllister one looks pre-programmed. I don't think it's anything to do with it. I think it's pre-programmed. So we had Curtis went to 6, Gravenberch left, Elliott right, which is interesting. I did wonder if they might have done Gravenberch and Jones as a 2 and go 4-2-3-1. We did go to that a bit later.
Yeah.
We stuck the 4-3-3 at the time. So, the benefit of Jota coming on was he made, in my opinion, Nunez and Diaz wide make more sense. Because as they were getting the balls wide and running, he's the deep runner in the middle. So, and then he was the link then to get it from Nunez to him, to Diaz, and Diaz to him. He was that nice link player, which then kept Ben White honest, and it kept the other lads honest because they were just like, we can't bomb on now because Darwin and that are going to get it. And look, some of the link-up play for Liverpool was really good. I mean, the best chance we had was a corner which Jota. I mean, he out-jumps Gabriel, and he's only about 5 foot, Jota, and he seems to out-jump Gabriel onto the bar. Ball falls down. It's a nice touch by Darwin, but he skies it wide. I saw a lot going at Darwin. I still look at the chance and go, well, if he hits it low, it's into a body of 5 players. He's going to bend it around 5 players. I don't think there's actually anything on there. You can hit it low and you hope it deflects somewhere.
That's all you can do.
So
that's all you can do. It's one of those chances. It looks better than what it actually is because when you look at it from the camera angle behind the goal, it was a sea of bodies, and he couldn't. It wasn't like you're taking a run up into it where you can get power on it. It was literally take your leg back and try to curl it around someone, and it just skied it. But at the end of the day, we were getting more and more into the game.
Yeah, Paul.
Paul
Paul's
Giovanni
right,
mix. Jota was directing traffic from the front, telling Darwin where and when to pass. That came right at the death, really. But
when you
he
think about it,
was,
he's 27, Jota, so he's a very
yeah,
experienced player. After Salah, he's the most experienced striker
yeah.
because the rest of them are. What, Diaz is 25. What's Darwin 24? You know, they're all.
But he's got more experience
in general.
he's just a more experienced forward, and he knows the position, and he knows the role that he was being asked to do, because defensively he was dropping in, making the extra man in midfield and stopping Declan Rice and Jorginho having simple balls.
And he loves being snide, which I'll be honest, I'm all
Yeah.
for it. I love a player who's snide, and we'll come on to that with some of our subs later. But then we have a chance just beforehand where good build up play. Nunes to Jota, plays it into Diaz, and look, give him his credit. It's a top save by Ramsdale to put it around the post.
Yeah.
That
was in for.
I think that's one that led just before the one we hit the bar. But you watch it go, that's some save. That, to be fair to him, and he had nothing to do all day, and that's always been his criticism, isn't it? That he goes,
he goes daydreaming, doesn't he?
I go daydreaming, yeah.
It was one of those ones that if he'd have got it near the post, it was in. But it was through the defender's legs. He got down well, put it out wide. It was a good save. But it's a save you'd expect most keepers to be making, but still, he had very little to do by this stage. We had a couple of efforts from outside the box. Joe Gomez had one rasper from outside the box. That goal is coming. I think he's the next game against Fulham in the Cup will be his 200th start or something. He's it's coming for him for sure. I just got a feeling with Joe. But I was really happy with Diaz on the right, coming inside, getting involved, but more so with Darwin on the left. He just was busy. He was getting on the ball. He was running at players. He was challenging Ben White all the time. And he was he just had, it was night and day, the difference that he had between the first half and the second half. You stick him out on the left, and I think Martin Keown was saying at the end of the game that it was the freedom that he had after it. It was really good. I can't knock his performance in the second half. He gave everything he could. And it was like, at this stage then, you're thinking, this game is still up in the air. Anything can happen. I honestly felt the first goal, whoever scores first is going to win it, because it'll deflate everybody. If you go behind, it'll just suck the living daylights out of you. And that's how it turned out in the end.
Has anyone took David's gift yet? Has it gone yet?
I haven't seen.
Come on.
I hope so.
Go on, guys. It's a free gift here. You may as well free membership for a month. You may as well take it. Don't be rude. Take David's gift. Hopefully it goes in a minute. So, but yeah. So let's talk about the goal. Took me a minute to realise it was an own goal. So it's a wide free kick for Trent. I thought Diaz at first had headed it. And
me too.
And then we thought Trent had gone straight in. And when you watch the replay, it was nice to see an Arsenal player could finally score, which is what they were trying to threaten all day. But it's a wicked crosser, isn't it? And Diaz doing what you want to do, and that's become a thing that we've getting Diaz to near post to be the near post header, because Diaz is very good in the air.
He is, but it was all on the cross. The cross was it. He had one in the first half that he literally got it all wrong. I mean, it went down almost as an effort on goal, but it wasn't. It was just a badly hit cross. This one was perfect, and it was a nightmare. Kivior had to get underneath that to head it up and away. But let's be honest, Jamie Carragher had a career of those goals. Their centre halves up and down the Premier League have had those happen to them. It's a horrible one for centre backs. You can't get your body shape around to head it away because the curve on it was just crazy. The keeper comes and can't get it because it was far enough out to make him panic, but not close enough that he could get a punch on it.
Correct.
It literally was the perfect delivery. It deserved a finish from a Liverpool player, because anyone with a glance on that scores. It was It was 10 minutes ago, right bang on the 80th minute, and I don't know if we'd made. I think we might have made the other changes by then as well.
We haven't made, as I say, yet. So before the goal, 75 minutes. You bring those two kids, Conor Bradley and
Bobby Clark.
Lee Clark. So, we took off Elliott, we took off Jones. Took two experienced lads off. Moved Bradley went to right back, Trent went to centre mid, and we said to Clark, go and play the 10, because basically we went 4-2-3-1. So again, they're brave subs, because it's not like throwing kids on a 3-0 up. It's just throwing kids on 0-0 away at Arsenal. Batters with fire, lads. How's your luck? And I'll be honest, the two lads did really, really well. We'll come on to them because I think they came into their own at 1-0.
100%.
So, Conor Bradley defended really well against Martinelli. Martinelli's fast, and Martinelli is difficult. I know he's not going through his greatest period of form, but he's a danger, and he glides past players. And I thought Bradley stuck to the job of keeping it simple, cutting out, interceptions, and not diving in when he's getting fronted up. Backed up brilliantly by Konate. Konate and Elliott, Clark, they all made sure they doubled up on him, but he never felt exposed. Now, at one point, did you think? And if we were the Arsenal fan channel, we'd be going, why did nobody like? I'm saying to him, why didn't you put Saka when you switch Saka? He's your big danger man. Put Saka against the kid. Just see what he does. Try something different, but he didn't. Which again is a question for Arsenal. Is I don't think their manager, in my opinion, I think their manager froze. I think he froze on the occasion. I don't think he actually knew what to do.
No, it was. I can't understand. Look, we got our goal. We go 1-0 up. Bradley didn't give Martinelli a sniff. Martinelli was having fun and games with Trent. He was going past him for fun, and Konate was cutting everything out on the other side of it, which is fine because at the end of the day, everything that he was putting across the box was going nowhere. You cope with that. And when the change happened, Conor Bradley gave him nothing. I mean, Martinelli has been in and around the Brazil squad now for a while. His dribbling is top tier, and Bradley just managed it. But the best thing I liked about Bradley was his positioning when the ball was on the Arsenal right, and they were putting crosses in over Ibu onto whoever was coming in on their left, and Bradley just got his head on everything. He read the flight of the ball perfectly. And I got really high hopes for him. I think he could be a really good player. And he's deceptively quick. And he loves getting forward. He's a proper right back in a traditional sense. He's not going to tuck inside and do what Trent does. He's an up and down the line right
he's
back.
He's more like to become a
Andy Robertson type.
A right-side Andy Robbo. Which, I'll be honest, if he becomes that, sound.
I'm delighted with that.
Absolutely
delighted
sound.
with that.
No problem with that. So, and then Bobby Clark, to his credit, he just kept everything simple, neat, and tidy. Took his yellow like a pro. That's how you teach teams what to do. And that's, to be fair, I've seen plenty of Arsenal social media really upset with little time wasting, disgraceful late tackles and breaking up play. And thinking that's what you're supposed to do.
And that's what you're supposed to do.
You see the smile on his face, and you've seen his teammates have five. It's like that's what you're supposed to do.
Alisson calmed everything right down as well.
Thanks very much.
But Alisson calmed everything right down as well. When he got the ball, there was a corner late on.
That's a good shout.
And it was the second.
Brad Cooper becomes Steve Finnan.
For that. But there was a corner late on, and it was the second or third corner that they'd had in this spell of pressure. And I think it was one that Darwin nodded it out from a free kick. Do you remember?
Which, by the way, let's put it right. Darwin did his job, which was he followed the ball in. He's the only one to follow the ball in, and he went, "I'll put it out for a corner because I'm not sure." And Shearer all that were making out like, "Oh, I don't think he knew what he was doing there." Oh, it was a bit lucky when he headed it freaking miles out for a corner. That's what you're supposed to do. You're told either stay high, or if you're dropping deep, you make sure it goes. And none of his teammates would kick it off, and then 2 seconds later, cross comes in, he heads it miles away. Darwin actually did that really well, but then
the next one, minute? I think the cross came in, and Ali just comes and gets it.
It's so
Ali
relaxing,
just
isn't it?
comes and gets it, and it's like that's why you are the best in the world.
Mm.
You know, as long as the referee is not going to book you for taking your time over goal kicks, take all the time you want. It's up to the referee to tell you to hurry up. It's up to the referee to book you. And if he's not going to do either, then carry on doing as you are.
Well, let's talk about the second one.
Happy days.
Then we can talk about individuals, and we can talk about referees and Arsenal, because we can have some fun with this. Second goal is a brilliant Liverpool breakaway, and we actually finished one off because we tried a few of these, and we kept undercooking the pass because all second half they were open to this counter, and that's always been my thing with Arsenal is they're great going forward, but I would say they empty the midfield so quickly that if you pick them off in transition quickly, they're knackered. They're always caught out, and I've seen Arsenal a few times caught 5v4 or 5v3. It happens more often than you think with Arsenal. They just normally have got away with it. Nice finish by Diaz. Sealed the game. It was quite, it's just quite nice. 2-0 away. It was very similar to the semi-final in the League Cup a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it all started out with Darwin on the left wing, and Jota literally put the ball there. And Darwin did, outside of the foot pass into Jota. Jota carries the ball. And you can see when he was carrying the ball, he was telling Diaz to just move, to get to move on, because you're talking it's the 95th minute. We're 1-0 up. You've got the ball up their end. It's usually a case, go to the corner. No, he knocks the ball. Yeah, still there.
Oh, sorry, you sort of froze at the best point.
Oh, sorry, no. But like Jota's telling Diaz to go out into the wing and to get forward rather than try to get to the corner. And he just locks a perfect ball into him. One touch out of his feet. And that finish. Don't take anything away from that finish, because he hits that high into the roof of the net. That's a banging goal. Yeah. If that goal is scored in the 20th minute and you go on to win 2 or 3-0, you're going back to that goal to talk about that finish. That was a quality finish. And it's great to see him on the right wing being able to do that, because we're going to need that for the rest of January at least, and maybe into February as well. He offered a threat constantly when he got onto the right wing, getting in behind, taking on centre backs, taking on full backs. He was a right proper handful, and it was almost like a new lease of life for him. And so I think it's something that he's going to have to work on, being on that right defensively, doing what Mo offers you defensively. And whoever's playing in the right side of midfield has to adjust how they play midfield for him, because he is different to Mo. But all in all, it was a fantastic finish. It was a fantastic goal.
I do like him on the right, though. I do think he gives us...
Yeah, I do too.
It's just something a bit different. A winger who actually just wants to go around and go wide. It's just a different string to your bow. And he hasn't done it very often for Liverpool, so not many teams will have planned for it. I'd start him on the right against Fulham. Just give him some
100%.
100%.
A
few comments here. Kieran B, that Konate last-ditch tackle on Reece Nelson was like scoring a goal. He's a monster. If we can keep him fit, he could be one of the best centre halves in the world in a couple of years out. Konate was fabulous today. Kieran also saying, delighted for Diaz scoring. It's the same on the right. He's more than capable. Looks like our best option with Salah gone. He feels that way, because I think if he wasn't got injured, I do wonder if we'd have tried Szoboszlai on the right. I do think that's possibly that could happen.
Yeah, but I think it's nice to have the option off the bench to be able to change games. But it was Harvey looked a different player when he got in, because he got involved.
He looks more comfortable
in the second half. Yeah, he looks way more comfortable in the middle of the park. He loves taking the ball under pressure. Jones in the second half was able to get his foot on the ball and run with it. And it's something he wasn't doing in the first half. He just didn't have any time or space to move in. But with the way Darwin held Ben White back, Arsenal couldn't commit enough players to stop Curtis Jones making runs on that side of the pitch either. So it's all little subtle things that you'll see if you go and watch it back. The difference is what happened in the second half compared to the first. But look, 2-0, we're into the fourth. Yeah.
Match Apple's correct here. Bradley and Clark just look like real senior pros today. I think that's the best thing you can say about them.
Yeah.
They didn't play like two kids, which is credit. You got to give them credit. To be fair,
yeah. I've liked Bradley for a while. I just think that he's got all of the tools to become one of those really, really good quality fullback options, and he's going to come through the club ranks as well. I think there's a lot to like about him. It's just going to be a thing with him. Is he going to get enough game time to develop his game? And that's something that we'll see over time. But I hope he does. I think he's got every chance.
So I'll bring up Oshi's message because this leads into our little chat because this was doing my head and everything your head and from our messages to each other. Which is superb from everyone. But Arsenal are moaning about the referee for some reason, only forgetting how many chances they wasted. They did waste a lot of chances. If Arsenal fans are moaning about the referee, honest to God, lads, I think you're looking in the wrong place. Yeah, I've never seen so many weird, good challenges given as fouls, and I thought he was crap. I thought he was genuinely crap.
He was crap for both sides in some ways, but there was some. Luis Diaz got a couple of shoulders in, and both times they were called as fouls, and none of them were fouls. They're just proper shoulder-to-shoulder tackles, and you're just stronger than your opponent.
Diaz to me gets fouled, and then 10 seconds later, Elliot fouls, Jorginho given. Elliot throws his arms out, tells the referee what he thinks, gets a booking. First half, though, Jorginho was telling the referee to F off every 2 seconds. Yeah, and not once is it booked. That's where it was a bit frustrating when you go like, well, when Saka was kicking Joe Gomez quite a few times, but that's all right.
Do you know the worst of it, right? In all fairness, that game had, I'm just trying to see how many bookings it had.
Not many.
But I'm telling you, it had more than what you think. But it wasn't that kind of game. It wasn't a dirty game. It wasn't a game that you look at and you think, you're lucky to get out of this, that, and the other. There was 5 yellows in that game. We picked up 4 yellow cards in that game. Now the
Gravenberch was fine.
Yeah, and Clark won. Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. That's a yellow card all day long. Ellis with dissent was a nonsense.
And Trent was also a very similar last minute. Thanks very much.
Yeah, but it wasn't breaking up. It was literally just a foul. It's not all fouls are bookings. It's just he got to run away with himself with the gate. Looking at his watch and thinking, yeah, every foul from here on out is a booking, and it just wasn't.
Yeah,
thought it was just one of them.
Curtis Jones does Ben White with an outrageous bit of skill. He's just 4 on smashed it. He's 4 up, but the skill is outrageous. Brilliant bit of skill. But Ben White 4 on smashed him. It's a free kick going. God, that's been a yellow. That's been a booking since time.
Yeah,
that
was a booking. That was just a booking. Yeah.
That's what you get.
And that's the frustration. But look, finish 2-0. You're into the 4th round.
The time wasting is hilarious, though, isn't it, mate? Arsenal fans are going rasher over Liverpool time waste, and I went. It's ironic for the club that spent most games rolling over. It's just.
Look, they're going to have to blame something. At the end of the day, they need to look internally at their problems, and their problems are their problems. At the end of the day, we're into the 4th round. And on the balance of the 2 halves, I think it would have been, I think if it was a draw and there was a replay, it'd be fair enough. But it turned out to be a close game. If you would have watched that and just watched the first half, and then you nipped out and missed the second half and come back and saw Liverpool won 2-0. But how the hell did that happen? But it literally was a proper game of 2 halves. We were much better in the second half. Definitely. They had a few chances, but to be fair, I don't think Alisson was rushed into making any miraculous saves in the second half. I think all of the work that Alisson did in the second half was pretty routine.
I don't think our left side, Gomez and Kwanzaa, was barely tested second half.
No.
First half it
was massively.
Second half, don't think it was really tested. Mm-hmm. So, our mate Goldie, head of the Curtis Jones fan club, said, having said it's no secret, Arsenal can't score. Take Saka out and they are shocking in front goal. I do think today's game typifies a big problem Arsenal has. I just don't. Who is their 20-goal season striker? Now, if you said to me for Liverpool, it's Mo Salah, and then you can have a debate about the lads below him. But who's going to get double figures? Jota should get double figures if he stays fit. And the newest, you can all have a debate. Go, well, maybe not. I'm looking at Arsenal going, who's going to get 20 goals for Arsenal?
Yeah,
Saka hasn't shown it yet. And I'm going,
yeah,
I don't think he will. But I don't think he will yet. He might in a couple of years' time. I don't think either goalkeeper's great. Ramsey has nothing wrong to say, but I don't think either goalkeeper's great. And
listen,
I don't think the manager tactically is as good as he's been made out to be.
That's what I was going to come to.
I think he was naive, and he didn't change it.
It's Arteta. It's Arteta. Look,
but his subs were so late. The game was gone. He'd already,
Eddie Nketiah came on in the 81st minute. Havertz was having a mare.
Yeah.
Trossard came on in 88. Emile Smith-Rowe, who looks like he needs to get out of that club. Yeah. Then he came on in 88. What's the point? It was literally. I don't get what Arteta. If you're an Arsenal fan and you have to be looking at this thing, why on earth did you have Kai Havertz up front as a 9 when it's clear as crystal that he is not a 9. He is not a striker in any way, shape, or form. He's played okay in midfield, but he's not a striker.
I think game at Anfield, he didn't do massive numbers of tackling. Defensively wise, though, as part of the unit, he was fine.
Yeah. I'm also looking at Trossard. Trossard, when he was at Brighton, was a right pain in the arse.
For us, yeah.
As a forward, he was a right pain in the arse. How is he not starting over your man Nelson? I honestly look at that Arsenal side today. If you looked at that side on paper, our starting 11 on paper, Arsenal being at home, Arsenal are favourites. They just are. Because that is about as strong as Arsenal could go with what was available to them, apart from Havertz. When you look at what we were missing Salah, missing Van Dijk, 2 huge players we were missing for us. And McAllister coming back from injury, we were there to be beaten, and they had enough of that first half, and they just couldn't do it. To me, Arteta is, look, he'll be fine. They're not going to sack him, but he should be hauled over the coals for the selections and the decisions that he made. Like we've done it with Klopp over when we've had games like this, where we've pulled apart his substitutions, his tactical setup, his starting 11s. That was all wrong, the way Arsenal set up that second half. And he never reacted to it. He never got to grips with it. It was ridiculous.
But with no Jesus, I mean, he's another big problem they've got, which is he doesn't score enough goals and he loves an injury. He loves a lot of injuries, to be fair. Do I think Nketiah is great? I don't. I think he's okay. But what I think he's quick. So give him something different to the middle. Give Kwanzaa and Konate 15 minutes of pace when you've had a hard 75 minutes of, defending.
Yeah.
Just something different.
And whatever's going on with Martin Odegaard, he's a shadow of the player he was last season. He's an absolute shadow of the player he was last season. Was he a one-hit wonder last year?
But even last season, and I got shot down for it, people didn't like it, is look at the second half of the season, the key, the big games.
Yeah. When they fluffed their lines at Anfield.
Did he impact it? Not really.
No. When they fluffed their lines at Anfield and their season fell apart, it fell apart in the middle of the park. But for us,
it's January, so the season's still young for them. They can still, they're not far off it in the title race. They're still in the Champions League. But to me, they're still showing more signs of being Pochettino's Tottenham than a title winning side. I think they're a nice side. I think on their day, they could be brutally horrible to play against, as we discovered today. But I'm just not yet convinced with Arsenal that they've got the killer in them to win one of the big trophies, which is a European trophy, Europa or Champions League, or the league. I just don't look at that Arsenal side and think that's a title winning side. I just don't. So listen, I could be sat in May going, well, Arsenal won the league and made me look maybe wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
I think you're safe.
We'll be the first.
I think you're safe enough.
We'll be the first time wrong. We'll be the last either.
Yeah. Look, you go through us. who would you have as your man of the match? Guys in the chat, put in who you have in as your man of the match.
I think the one thing Shearer got right, it's probably the only thing he got right. I thought he gave it Konate. I have no real issue with it being Konate. I thought he was immense. I thought shout outs to Joe Gomez. I thought Joe Gomez did really well. Quanta was solid again. And second half performance, I thought the two sub Jota and Gravenberch made a difference. But I thought Konate, I thought senior centre back. And I think he acted like the senior centre back. And I think his passing has got better every week. He's starting to add that bit more to his game. I did like Joe. I must admit, though, mate. Did you love Kwanzaa turn into Matip for in the first half? I did like that. Kwanzaa starting to learn his inner Matip. Didn't quite come off like, but it's nice to see.
He did it in the second half, and I was just saying, please God, whatever happens, don't lose the ball here. We're toast if we lose the ball. He was halfway into the Arsenal half, and he chipped the ball. He was trying to chip the ball into Darwin, and he got it wrong, and it went out of play. I was like, that's fine. If you get the ball right, happy days, Darwin's in, lovely. Whatever you do, don't lose it there. But I thought Trent on the quiet, he had a funny 5 minutes when Martinelli came on. Other than that, I thought defensively he was okay.
People forget. People like Martinelli, they could do that to any fullback. Yeah, have a 5 minute. Dave Flowers has gone for Mr. Klopp. Nigel's gone for Klopp. I'm not giving Pep Linders man of the match. Absolutely not. He's an assistant. That's all he is. Don't overhype him. Konate or Diaz for Brian. Paul Giovanni's put Diaz. Ross has got Alisson. Dave's put.
Like that show.
Apparently, Arsenal are signing Curtis and Mbappe in January. Yeah, I mean, it's so funny because apparently I've read somewhere it said, because Curtis really wants to live down south. I thought he's a scout as scouts can be. I don't think he does. It's just Liverpool aren't selling him anyway, which is absolutely fine. Chris, Archie put the Liverpool win the FA Cup, right? Do you know that's the first time we've beaten Arsenal in the FA Cup since 2001?
Yeah. I mean, considering the cup competition, we draw on Arsenal quite a bit.
Arsenal have knocked us out of the FA Cup 8 times. They've said the only other team to knock us out more is United with 10. So on the quiet, our recent history of ours in the FA Cup's not great.
Nigel chucked in a gifted sub. Thank you very much, Nigel. Much appreciated. Chris Golding's gone for Klopp as man of the match. Yeah, look, I mean, he changed it at halftime and he changed the fortunes of the whole game, no doubt in my mind. Who would you give man of the match to? Or an honourable mentions?
Honourable mention would be Joe Gomez and Jota, but I would still give it to Konate.
Oh, 100%. I thought Konate was ridiculously good today. He took responsibility. He took responsibility at the back. He was brave when he needed to be, got his blocks in, and it would have been easy for his mind to absolutely get fried in that first half, and he didn't. I mean, it was a game of two halves. If you're looking, I thought Darwin in the second half was a proper handful for Ben White. He was horrible to play against. He was an absolute nightmare. Joe Gomez, again, really good. The subs that came on, Connor Bradley, I mean, just because he came on for the last, 15 minutes of the game, if coming on away to Arsenal in the FA Cup and it's 0-0 and you're against a side who are capable of putting you right under the cosh, against a winger who's just marmaladed your starting fullback, and he comes on and makes it look really, really easy. He's just like, what's the problem? He just got his foot on the ball, did everything right. I was delighted with him. Did really well. But yeah, look, happy with the result. Onwards now to Wednesday night and Fulham away, isn't it?
Home.
Oh, was it home? Are we home the first leg?
Home leg
first.
So
bonus.
So the ideal in the home leg is don't concede and get a couple of goal lead. Easy said, done. But they've got a few missing, haven't they? They've got no Bassi, have they, because of the AFCON?
Yeah.
But we do have Jimenez back though, which is a bit of a pain.
They've actually hit a bit of form and they made plenty of changes and got through their.
They played Friday, didn't they?
They got through their cup tie handy enough. I think, look, the game we played in the league against Fulham was a tough night's work. They're a good side. I think they're a proper handful. And if I was looking at players, you're not going to sign the guy, but for me, he's one that definitely got away as Willian. The guy doesn't age. He's like, wow. He's just one of these players. I really like him. I've always liked him, even when he was at Chelsea, and you'd almost watch a Chelsea game. He'd play really well, and you'd be like, werewolf bat kind of stuff. I really shouldn't like him, but he's just one of those players.
So I think
it'll be a tough night.
There's no Iwobi and no Bassi because they're both away on AFCON. Tim Ream is out as well for them. But that's it. So they've only got a few injuries. If you look at the squad we had tonight, you probably only had Van Dijk, and that's it.
Van Dijk comes back in. I think Kelleher does start. I think Kelleher will start.
I think he does start now because I think Kelleher's been told the League Cup is. I also think it won't be popular. Depending on we get in Europa League, he might not play in Europa League ever again. I generally think when he gets serious in Europa League, it'll be Alisson. I just think that's what he's there for. He's there for the big games, and ultimately, that's the joy of being a number 2. You're only there for when you need it. But we will see. We'll see. So tonight we've got Fat Back 4 with the lads again. So they'll talk all about this, and everything else that is good with Liverpool.
There's plenty of talk coming on as well. I mean, Nyoni was on the bench, didn't get on, unfortunately. I'm sure they'll have a chat around Jordan Henderson and any transfer gossip that's got to break at around 10 o'clock. Who knows what that could be? But look, come back at 10 o'clock. The lads will be on. Yourselves. They're going to have they might have a different outlook to what we had. So get involved. Make sure you hit the like button and hit the bell icon so you know when the shows are live.
Mm-hmm. Very, very much so. So until then, we will see you all very, very soon. So please please subscribe, please do stuff for our fundraisers because that's the most important thing. But look, Liverpool is the 4th round of the FA Cup. Arsenal in the mud for at least 5 more minutes. Then we'll forget about it. But listen, thanks for watching, and we'll speak to you all very soon.